So Herbert, I felt, try to be quick with it, went into that Patriot playoff game scarred from the last playoff game where he threw 4 picks. And somewhere in his conscious or subconscious was, I just can't turn the ball over. And because of that, I've then watched, to prepare to argue with Danny, all 22 of the Herbert's dropbacks. The Patriots secondary got a bunch in that game, and guys are running open and Herbert won't throw the ball. I think that was a Justin Herbert got in his own head game.
Okay.
CJ.
Absolutely not. Unbelievable. I am genuinely fascinated by the narrative being constructed here. The suggestion, in essence, is that Justin Herbert is psychologically damaged, that he's haunted by past failures and succumbed to his own mental barriers. That is an extraordinary claim. Let's be perfectly clear about what actually transpired. He faced an elite defense in a hostile road environment, while operating behind what was statistically the most deficient offensive line in the entire NFL. The historical context is stark. Had he won that game, he would have done so with the worst graded offensive line in Pro Football Focus history to ever win a playoff contest. That is the reality of the situation. That is what occurred. To portray that outcome as a simple case of Justin Herbert being his own worst enemy, mentally scarred by previous shortcomings, is utterly nonsensical. It is insane to place that explanation on the table, implying Herbert possesses some inherent character flaw or an incapacity to surmount adversity. Because that is precisely the implication. That due to his previous playoff loss and associated turnovers, he was fundamentally incapable of overcoming that psychological hurdle in his subsequent postseason appearance. This is a staggering assertion. Consider the man's entire season. He was a study in resilience, overcoming obstacle after obstacle, navigating adversity on a weekly basis while consistently under duress. When a quarterback is being physically assaulted play after play throughout a season, yes, it naturally becomes more challenging to confidently launch the deep ball. It becomes harder to make certain throws with pristine mechanics. Why? Say it with me. Because you are being relentlessly pressured. I am not here to argue that it was a spectacular performance from Justin Herbert. I will not make that claim. However, to posit that the foundational reason for the loss, the core explanation for how that game unfolded, was rooted in a mental deficiency. What are we even discussing? Seriously, if such a profound psychological issue existed, why did it not manifest in any other game during the season? Logically, if it were going to surface anywhere, it would have been in the high-pressure international season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs. It did not. There was no sign of it. He was pressured 25 times. 25. If Justin Herbert were truly paralyzed by fear and trapped in his own thoughts, he would have completely abandoned downfield concepts. The data reveals he attempted 4 deep passes. For context, in the wild card round, Josh Allen also attempted 4. Jalen Hurts attempted 4. Trevor Lawrence attempted 4. Bryce Young attempted 5. Aaron Rodgers attempted 5. Matthew Stafford attempted 6, completing only 1. The outliers were the 2 quarterbacks who faced each other in a specific shootout. Herbert's downfield attempt volume was entirely consistent with his peers. The notion that he was scared is not supported by his willingness to push the ball vertically. I am continually amazed by the confidence with which people diagnose a quarterback's mental state from afar, declaring, "In my view, Justin Herbert was intimidated due to last year's events." What tangible evidence supports such a definitive claim about an athlete's psychological constitution? It becomes even more tenuous when far more tangible, concrete explanations are readily available. Contrast this with a case like Dak Prescott's performance against the Green Bay Packers. Observers could point to visible discomfort, a sense of being overwhelmed, a disconnect from the moment. With Herbert's last 2 playoff exits, you can point directly to the relentless physical punishment he endured. This is no different from the struggles we've witnessed from Patrick Mahomes when he has been saddled with a compromised offensive line in postseason games. The common denominator is foundational, not psychological. When a quarterback is pressured 25 times in a single game, what level of performance can you realistically expect him to sustain? I genuinely do not know. This is compounded when there is no functional screen game to alleviate pressure, no effective ground attack, and no utilization of quick behind-the-line passing concepts. A critical coaching failure. This is where the analysis becomes truly compelling, and it encapsulates coaching in a nutshell. In that game, Justin Herbert attempted precisely 2 passes behind the line of scrimmage, completing both for minimal gain. He attempted 1 screen pass, which netted 3 yards. This isn't a commentary on Herbert versus Mahomes. It's a spotlight on scheme and execution, which is precisely why the offensive coordinator was dismissed. Examine the Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes faced consistent pressure from the 49ers. What did Andy Reid provide him? A steady diet of easy screen passes and throws behind the line. 7 completions on screen passes alone. 9 total passes from behind the line of scrimmage. Brock Purdy, under similar pressure, benefited from a similar strategic approach because Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. Great coaches devise ways to help their quarterback manage pressure. In that Super Bowl, Mahomes and Reid connected on 20 completions between 1 and 9 yards. Quick, short, rhythm throws. 50% of pass attempts were in that 1 to 9 yard range, with nearly 20% coming from behind the line. These were schematic solutions to a protection problem. Justin Herbert's offense, by comparison, allocated a mere 6.5% of his attempts to behind-the-line throws. The strategic disparity is monumental. This analysis is through a coaching lens, not a quarterback comparison. Bringing up Mahomes often triggers defensive reactions, but the point is about systemic support. Furthermore, Herbert was blitzed 20 times. On those plays, he had 1 throwaway and scrambled only once. If he were truly paralyzed by fear and solely focused on avoiding turnovers, logic dictates he would have used his legs far more frequently, taking off and running. He did not. He consistently looked to make throws from the pocket, even under fire. He was sacked 3 times on those blitzes and had the 1 throwaway, meaning on the other 16 occasions he was attempting to make a play through the air. Those are my reflections on the matter. I am absolutely eager to hear your perspectives. What do you all think about Justin Herbert? Do you believe he failed in the playoffs because he is psychologically scarred and cannot mentally handle the moment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree, let's engage in some substantive discussions. Let's have some lively debates. But ultimately, let's enjoy the dialogue. Please consider subscribing. We are building an incredible community here, and I would absolutely love to have you as part of it. I aim to foster something we all feel genuinely connected to, something we are truly excited to participate in. I believe we are making significant progress toward that goal. Also, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely assists with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.